This is the Seller Process Podcast, where we talk about the best systems, processes, and SOPs for your Amazon business so that you can regain control of your time, build up your team, and scale your e-com empire.
Hello, entrepreneurs. If you're looking for ways to scale your business and put your brand in front of thousands of hungry buyers on social media through the power of influencer marketing, then this episode is for you. Our guest today will share with us the step-by-step process his agency is using to reach out to influencers on Instagram and TikTok so that they can promote his product to their loyal audiences. I'm talking about Paul Barron, a $1 million Amazon seller, international keynote speaker on chatbots and influencer marketing, a sought-after expert consultant on all things digital marketing. His company, the Chat Agency, offers full-service conversational marketing and audience building services, leveraging chatbot marketing automation, including his proprietary nano-influencer framework to build brands and drive sales. Hey, Paul, welcome. Nice to have you here.
Yeah, it's good to be here, Joe Marco.
Awesome. So I'm excited about this talk. So guys, know that as you may remember, you may know from by now that in every episode we share a step-by-step process, and with that we always share some downloadable materials complementary to our talk. And this time, Paul will share with us the steps that his agency is using to reach out to influencers, and that will be focused especially on Instagram and TikTok. So my first question for you, Paul, will be like, why are you suggesting to us or Amazon sellers to focus especially on TikTok and Instagram?
Yeah, quite frankly, I think that those two platforms, I mean, if I was going to throw a third in there, it would be YouTube, but those two platforms across the board, Instagram and TikTok, are just the most attainable for most entrepreneurs to get started in. YouTube, generally speaking, the process is a little bit longer. In my experience, it requires generally more cash up front. Whereas with Instagram and TikTok, oftentimes you can get away with just providing a free product in exchange for user-generated content of some type. So that's why we recommend it. That's why we provide that service for our clients, because it's just the most easily attainable.
I see. Okay, awesome. So let's start from going through the steps to find influencers on Instagram first.
Yeah, for sure. Would you like me to? I could share my screen. I have the SOP up, or I could just kind of walk you through sort of the steps that I would go through.
People mostly people will see, will hear it, so
okay.
we can go through it.
Okay, yes. I'll just do it verbally. Okay, so within Instagram now, you can do this on the desktop version, or you can do this on your cell phone. Bear in mind that the primary audience, like the vast majority of people, are using Instagram on their phones, right? It's very rare that people are using Instagram on their desktop. Functionality is still fairly similar, but generally speaking, what you want to do is you always need to start with your core audience, your persona or your avatar, right? So if you do not have an idea of who your audience is, the people that are buying from you, you need to start there. Okay. So you need to understand that, for example, just because you sell in home and kitchen doesn't mean that everybody in home and kitchen is your perfect person, right? So we have a client who is in home and kitchen, and what we really target for him are chefs or foodies, people specifically that like actually love barbecue, those types of things. So as you're starting with your persona, your avatar, what you want to do is you want to start thinking through keywords, right? Where if you're selling on Amazon, you think in keyword language, right? You think of, okay, what is my product ranking for? So let's say that you sell, the silicone spatula or something like that. So then you would know all the keywords that would go with silicone spatula, so like non-stick spatula, silicone spatula, that sort of thing. But now Furthermore, you're not going to be looking for the keyword of your product. These are lifestyle platforms, right? So you have to think about, again, this goes back to your avatar. Like, what is it that people are doing with your products that creates a lifestyle that's photographed or taken videos of, right? Because people aren't going to be talking about like hashtag silicone spatula. They might, but most of the time it's going to be like hashtag foodie or hashtag barbecue or hashtag family time or things like that sort of stuff. So what you want to do is you want to start building out your hashtag list. And there are dozens of different hashtag research platforms out there. I'm not going to recommend one over the other, but just go to Google and look up there's like meta hashtags, like Hashtagify. There's a ton. But you want to go to Google and just find a hashtag research platform. And oftentimes, even when you could just go straight to Instagram, for example, and you could start typing in like hashtag food, and then there will be autocomplete, like there will be like foodie or things along those lines, right? And so that's one way that you could build your hashtag list. Oftentimes those hashtag research platforms have some sort of free, like free trial or something that you can test out. If you don't want to pay, like I said, you could do the free trial, or you can go straight to Instagram. But that's where your research starts is within that, like the hashtag on Instagram specifically. So let's say that I'm doing, again, like food. Let's say cooking, where we have our silicone spatula. What I would look at is, I would look at people, say, like, that are influencers in the space, say Gordon Ramsay, or he's just the first person that comes to mind. And I would see, like, what are the hashtags that he's posting about? Because now, bear in mind, Gordon Ramsay is not the person that I'm going to reach out to. Gordon Ramsay is like the archetype, like he is the ideal. And so what I'm going to look for are like what he's posting, but then I'm going to start filtering my search further down to start saying, what are people like him that have, smaller followings that would be more attainable for me to reach out to? So that would be where I would start, is with the hashtags. And then you start generating this list. And then you can do this again directly on Instagram, or you can go to Google and then you can do the search operator site:/Instagram.com. And then you could do like cooking tips or foodie or food tips or food prep tips or something, whatever, again, your hashtags are. And then instead of having this all in Instagram, what you'll do is you're going to get a whole list of results on Google that you could then go through one by one, open up Instagram, and then you could look at their profiles. And what we're going to do is looking at, I guess we move on to the next step, like how we would identify them. But that would be how we would start. I would start with hashtags, and there's either search operators on Google that I would use, or it would go directly into Instagram, and then I would use those hashtags, and that's where I would start.
Okay, that's interesting. Yeah, definitely. So there's one thing that you mentioned is know your customer, which is something that it seems that it comes up in almost every episode, and we'll probably end up creating one episode just for this, because in the end it's foundational. So it's one of the foundational steps that you should take in order to start anything. And this is another case in which you should first know your customer avatar, who is your avatar, who's your best customer, and then based on that you can find the list of hashtags that are most relevant for your customers. All right, so this is basically the first two steps. Know who your customer is, then create a list of hashtags. So I'm interested to understand then one of the most crucial part of this is probably through these hashtags, we will find tons of influencers, especially on Instagram, which is kind of an old platform. So how do we make sure that we find the right fit for our brands? Do you have any tips or suggestions on that?
Yeah. And so I'm going to circle back to what you said. You cannot ignore the basics. Okay. All of this advice that I'm giving is based on the premise that you have a really good product that people want, that has a unique competitive advantage. Okay. So I did give an example of a silicone spatula, right? It's probably not the best example because there's dozens, and I don't really know what unique competitive advantages silicone spatulas can have, other than maybe you're putting a really unique marketing spin on it, right? So you have to think in that frame of mind first, because influencers are in the business of making money while looking good. Okay. If you don't help them look good and or give them money, they're not going to make more money. Now, bear in mind too, that a lot of the methodology that I teach is working with people that may not necessarily consider themselves influencers yet. And I prefer working with what I would say influencers in the nano market. And now the nano market, specifically on Instagram, is anybody between about 1,000 and 10,000 followers. The reason why I look for people in that nano market is because generally, like I said, they don't consider themselves influencers yet. Good case in point. We have a very robust influencer system within my brand that we've been running for. The brand we've been in business for 7 years. I think we've been doing this for about 6, using some form of this that's evolved and changed over time. And our methodology is that we prefer long-term partnerships, more on like the brand ambassador type level, where instead of a one-off partnership, we do a long-term engagement with somebody. And so we are constantly onboarding new influencers, and generally without fail, we'll have people email us at least once a week saying, "Hey, my name is Sally the influencer, and I'd love to partner with your brand, and here's my deck." And Sally has maybe 5,000 fans, and she wants to charge us $200 per post or something. I'm like, that's absurd. Okay, because I've gone down that route. Everything that I'm teaching is based on going down routes, getting burned and figuring out a better way. And one of the reasons why I do this manually is because I don't really believe in the platforms for Instagram specifically. Now when we get to TikTok, I'll talk about something different, but I haven't really found a platform that aggregates influencers that makes it easy, quote unquote, for you, because it's always going to be a cash play up front. So what I'm looking for when I try to find influencers is generally when I'm starting. Okay, now our brand is a little bit more seasoned, so we can go after people that are 10,000 plus. But generally, when I'm starting, I look for people with between 500 and 5,000. Now, if you have a more seasoned brand that has social proof, you're not unheard of, that your content's good, it's appealing to your audience, you can expand your reach. Again, what the concept is, influencers are in the business of looking good and making money by looking good. So you need to make them look good. Okay. So the trade-off is you can pay money and they'll take your money, or you can help them look good by helping get them exposure. So when I'm looking for people, what I look at is their follower count. One, are they within our goal? The second biggest thing actually that I look for over follower count is engagement, and engagement in the form of, post likes, and also more importantly, comments on the post. And if I see, let's say that there's a post there's somebody has 100,000 followers, for example, and they have 100 comments, and all of the comments are like smiley eyes, heart faced, oh my God, this is so cute. Like anything that could be done by a bot. Okay. You know what I mean? There's these programs that will auto like a campaign or auto comment. What that tells me is that influencer, quote unquote, is paying for fake likes. They're paying for fake followers. And what you don't want to do is ever work with somebody like that, because what they're going to do is they're going to charge you an arm and a leg, and you're going to get nothing in return. So I look for real engagement, and the best way to judge real engagement is by doing this manually. Okay. You have to go through and vet the influencers. Now, this is in the case that you don't want to get burned. Now, if you don't care about getting burned, just ignore my advice, do whatever you want. But this is, again, from 6 years of experience doing this program in our business. We always look at comments, and we look at the quality of the comments. We look at, are people actually, reading the post? Are they commenting something specific about the post? And more importantly, is the content creator replying to those comments? If the content creator is replying to those comments, then that person is engaged, they care about their audience, and they care about the content that they're putting out. And those are the people that you want to work with. You do not want to work with the people that are just going to take your money and don't care about your products, right? Because if you care about your brand, you care about how your brand is represented to the world, and you want to work with people that care about your brand, just like you care about your brand. And the way that you do that is by building a relationship with people, not treating people like they're just robots that are going to take your money or make your post, and then you're going to be, making a bunch of money. One of the influencers that we work with, her name is Elaine Abonal, and she's an amazing person. And our relationship started with her just through DMs. We commented on her post. We saw that, so we're in the baby market. We sell reusable swim diapers. That's our primary business that we're in. It's very saturated. So feel free to try to enter that space, and then you're going to lose all your money because it's very seasonal, very saturated. But we built a really good name for ourselves. And so what we've done is, this is probably 4 years ago, before she had her baby. I saw that she was pregnant, and I said, "Hey, so you have a baby due. Can we send you swim diapers? Can we send you a care package?" And I didn't say, "Can we send you blah, 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 if you do this?" It was just, "I want to send you this." And then it was just an ongoing conversation. We're like, "Okay, when's your baby due? What's her name? Tell us more about where you live." And it was just an ongoing conversation. And then she made like the most amazing post. Like I was hoping she would, right? Like that was the goal. But the thing that we kept doing is we just keep going back and forth, and we have this ongoing relationship. We don't have a formal agreement with her. Now, generally speaking, we have a very formal agreement. We do for all of our clients, and even internally, where we have a contract and we release rights to the photos and all that sort of stuff so we can reuse them. With her, she has a decent sized following. She's a surf instructor that lives in Siargao, the Philippines, which beautiful island, just suffered this tragic typhoon. It was really sad. I'm not going to go into that, but basically she's just living this beautiful lifestyle that like every one of our customers was looking for. So that was what we saw with Elaine, is that she had a following. She would comment, people would comment on, they were genuine comments. It was a conversation, right? You're looking for a conversation. She would reply, they would comment, she would reply. It's not like somebody who just doesn't care, right? You want people to care about their audience. So that's what we look for.
Awesome. Okay. That's very interesting. Lots of good tips there. Just to recap here, basically what you're saying is that we need to treat them as human beings. Fundamentally,
Yeah.
they are human beings, and we need to understand them. And to understand influencer, we need to know that they want to look good. They are in the business of looking good. So we need to help them reach that goal.
Right.
So our products should make them look good. So they will be basically more inclined to work with us. So definitely common sense, but it's something that not many people think about or actually do. So yeah, that's very interesting. So guys, look for some of the metrics Paul just shared is that you should look at follower count and real engagement, especially, which is something that you mentioned. It's something we need to do manually in order to really understand if there is real engagement. But I can see this is something that we can easily outsource to a VA. So it's not something that you must do by yourself. It's easily outsourceable. So definitely it's worth this work. It's worth do it because it will lead us to get better influencers for sure. All right, so then let's say now we have clear how to find the best fit, the influencer that is the best fit for our brand, right? So how do we go about the first contact? What do we do in order to make the right impression, first impression, and start the conversation with them once we identify them?
Right. So let me go back to my illustration with Elaine. Or I'll draw this analogy. Let's say that in business, let's say that your goal is a conversion, whatever that conversion may be, right? So I'm going to draw the analogy of getting married. So let's say that you're single, you're looking for a life partner, and you want to marry that person. You're not going to go up to the first person that locks eye contact with you in a bar and say, "Hey, want to go get married?" Or go in and put your hand on their inner thigh and say, "Let's do this." Maybe that'll work for you, maybe, but generally that person is not a life partner that you want to be with. In my experience with the crazy people, right? Generally, they're a little crazy. So you need to think of this as a relationship that you're building over time. So as relationships progress, let's say, again, you're in university, you're looking for a life partner. Generally what happens is, you work on a few projects together, you have conversations, you find similarities, and then you talk more. And then maybe you go out for a coffee date, and then you say, well, I really like this person. Let's go out for dinner. And the relationship progresses slowly over time, right? You're not going to go straight from meeting somebody to getting married the next day. You could, and I have known people that have done very similar things. And surprisingly, none of them are still married. Shocker. Right. So think of it like that. Think of it again, treat the person as if they're not as if, because they are a person, and really get to know them. So the ways that you do this in the social media world is you read through their posts. You look at what they're posting about, and you see, is this person, are they a good fit for partnering with my brand? And that's what I want you to think about, is partnerships, not using them. Okay. You don't use influencers, you partner with influencers, because influencers are people and they have feelings. They're genuine, again, right? Partnership. So you want to see, okay, is a partnership with this person going to work? Is it mutually beneficial? And you need to put yourselves in their shoes. When you're creating some sort of offer, let's say that your goal is to get them to take photos or get, whatever, promote your products, drive sales. You need to think through, okay, what is my offer that they're going to be inclined to say yes? So when you're first contacting with people, you just start by, liking a few posts, and then you read through more, and then you just genuinely comment. Like, I think it was like with Elaine, it was just like little simple things like, oh my God, this is amazing. Like these photos are incredible. Like you look like this is making me, I think I said something like, this is making me want to go visit Sergao. Because it genuinely did. Like her husband, she was engaged at the time, her fiance, is a professional surf photographer, and she's a professional surf instructor. So you can imagine, like, the photos that they're putting out are just idealistic. Like, oh my God, I want to go surfing. Like, that's what it was making me feel. And that's what I expressed. Like, this is incredible. Ollie is her husband. And you treat, research, get their names. Look at, okay, if she mentions fiance Ollie, her husband's name, fiance at the time, is Ollie. Okay, well, Ollie's an incredible photographer. Genuinely compliment people. Don't flatter people. Genuinely compliment. A lot of these principles are based in just basic human interaction. If you haven't read the book, How to Win Friends and Influence People, that's like a starting point. There's a revised version, but literally, just genuinely compliment people. Don't flatter people. Give a genuine compliment. This, you look, like you blah, 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 whatever. So do a couple comments, and then you follow them, and then wait for them to follow you back. And if they don't follow you back, that's fine. But the way that this works is your goal is to send them a direct message. Okay. So there's a couple different methods. If they're in the business of, influencing, oftentimes they'll have their email address, and it'll say like business inquiries email here. You can send them an email. Generally speaking, what I find works best is when you follow them and they follow you back, then you can send them a message. But the thing is, again, don't go straight for the sale, right? So don't be the crazy person that goes on the first date and says, oh my God, you're the perfect person. You want to get married and meet my family? Freak out, run away, right? That's what's going to happen in this. You don't want to go straight for that. I mean, you could, but the thing is that people psychologically, as human beings, we function in one of two main modes: business mode and interpersonal relationship mode. You want to stay in interpersonal relationship mode and take it to business mode when it's appropriate. But if you start in business mode, it's going to stay in business mode. What I mean by that is, if you start bringing up what are your rates, it's going to stay in that. And if your goal is to have a long-term partnership that's mutually beneficial, now hear me. I'm not saying that you don't want to pay for things and you want to take advantage of people and get them for the best deal ever, right? That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that you want a good deal that works for you and for them. Now, ideally, my goal is to do as much as I can with as free things, free products, even to the extent of we've done partnerships with athletes and Olympian celebrities where instead of paying them, we produce a limited edition print specifically for them, and we donate all the proceeds for charity. That's one example. So we're paying, but we're not paying, if that makes sense, right? And again, you have to put yourself in their shoes and think, what is going to be a bigger win for them than for me? So that's your number one thing. And then go from there. So again, you're gradually increasing the conversation. You're genuinely liking their photos. You're commenting on their photos. And then you're having a conversation in direct message. And then you say, hey, my wife and I, this is me. My wife and I own this brand. We've been in business for this long. We'd love to send you a care package. This is exactly what we did with Elaine. We'd love to send you a care package for your baby that you're about to have. Where can we send it? And that was how it progressed with her. So that is what you want to do.
Right. I'm curious to know, did you reach out to this person without any previous, that was like your first interaction with this person? Like, we want to send you a care package, or it was you already knew this person? And sorry, another question is, did you do it with your personal account, or it was like a company account?
This was my company account. I was going to go through and look at the, let me see if I can go on my internet here. Because I can just show you, I can just read the initial message that we sent to her. Instead of giving you like, this is what I think I remember doing, I'm just going to read it directly from our screen. Okay, so this is June 4th, 2019. I think it was just that she had made some posts about being pregnant. And my initial message, direct message was when are you due? We'd love to send you some swim diapers for Kiki. That was what she was calling her baby before they landed on a name, to use when she comes. I'm sure you'd get tons of use out of them since you're on the beach so much. Mm-hmm. And then she said, hey, I'm due August 2nd. Wow, it'd be so awesome. Yeah, baby girl, definitely need beach cloth diapers. Where are you shipping from? I know someone leaving Hawaii mid-June, another friend. So then we just started talking. And then I brought it back to personal. Oh, fun. Our oldest was born August 7th, which is really cool because she's due August 2nd. He'll be 5 this year, 10 flies. We ship from Dallas and our swim shirts come from another warehouse. We could totally send your friend to Cali, yada, yada. So then it was just more back and forth, where it was just more personal, like, she'll be awesome. That's so awesome. Is Bo the one in all the photos? So obviously she's going back and forth. And then she tells more, we live in, blah, 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 my fiance. Anyway, it just went back and forth where I was chatting, a bunch. And then, so it's just, we just took it from there. So the first message was, we'd love to send you some stuff. So that was the very first message that we sent. But I think that was after, again, I'd have to scroll back through her feed to see like her posts and whatnot.
Okay. But that's a good starting point, for us to understand, like, how did you start with that conversation? It can be, the lesson here is to, be friendly, try to build a friendly relationship and genuine relationship with these people, and not necessarily, starting with work or business, with a business interaction, but mostly, complimenting them and creating some like genuine, nice conversation to break the ice and starting be friends with these people, because potentially, you're actually looking to have like a long-term partnership with these people. So definitely makes sense investing some time into know each other. Right. So I'm interested now to understand what are the differences between Instagram and TikTok. How does that change? This process changes between these two platforms.
Yeah. So with TikTok, it's very similar. You could search the desktop version, just like I had mentioned with Instagram, starting with keywords and/or just search topics, right? So you could do hashtag fitness or hashtag baby or hashtag family, any of those hashtags. And then you can do that same method, doing a manual search on TikTok. I'm going to walk you through kind of the manual search. And then also there's a creator marketplace that they have, which is relatively new, I think within the last year or so. And we recently just started using this because we've been doing the manual thing for so long. Like it was working for us, and we still get great relationships manually. But generally what we're going to do is we're going to look at the number of views on their videos. We're going to see how many followers they're having, and the same process. How many comments are there on their videos? Are the influencers replying to the comments? Are the creators replying to the comments? Same process, right? And then you can send them a message when they follow you, or oftentimes they'll have their Instagram linked in the bio, and then you go to their Instagram, and then I would then do the same method, comment everything that I just talked about with Instagram, and then direct message them on Instagram is generally what we'll do if we're doing this manually. Now, I said earlier that I don't really like marketplaces because generally speaking, I think they're, again, it's like external to the platform. Like Instagram does not have a creator marketplace for Instagram. They I don't know why they don't. It's like blows my mind that they don't, because there's dozens of these things, and it would be much better for Instagram if they did. But TikTok has a creator marketplace, and it's just creatormarketplace.tiktok.com. And now you have to sign up for a creator marketplace account if you have an advertising account already with TikTok. If you're already running business ads on TikTok, you can just sign in using that. Otherwise, you need to sign in, create an account. It's fairly simple. You have to verify your business, meaning that you have to have like the tax ID number, the EIN. In the United States, that's what the EIN is. You have to upload tax paperwork to show you're a legit business. Your phone number, your email address, your mailing address. It's really simple. And generally, you're going to get verified within the first 2 to 4 hours. It doesn't take too long. But then when you're in the TikTok marketplace, this is one of the things that we're going to be switching to using this instead of doing manual, because the creator marketplace is so much easier to use. So you can search for people. You can create a campaign. So like in our instance, we're an agency. So we can have a whole bunch of brands that we have listed within our agency. If you're signing up as a brand, it's your brand, right? And then you put in some of the things that they have for your brand is your brand name, the brand website, brand industry, your brand description, an 800-word description, so a short description. You can upload a brand description that is 5 megabytes or less. So like a PDF, let's say you have a brand guidelines document. You can upload that, and then your brand logo. And so then we can create campaigns within those brands, right? So let's say that I'm searching for people. It's really, really granular what you can do. And this is why I'm switching over to Creator Marketplace instead of just doing the manual search. Because let's say I can filter by creator, country, or region. And then furthermore, I can filter by area within that region, right? So I live in Colorado. So one thing that you learn about, again, how to influence, how to win friends and influence people like to work with people that remind them of their people. That's the reason, that's the reason why socioeconomic groups exist, because it's comfortable, it's familiar. So let's say I wanted to filter only by creators in Colorado that had an audience in the US, any follower range. And then I can filter by price. So let me give you all the breakdown. So it's country or region. Then I can filter by state in Colorado. Then I can filter by the audience, country or region. So again, I'm wanting to drive traffic to Amazon. So I want to filter by the United States. If I wanted to go granular and say that we're doing a launch in, so for example, California represents 20% of our sales, which is absurd. So if I wanted to only find people in California because Southern California or even Florida, right? So we're in the swim niche. Right now there's snow outside. Not many Coloradans are swimming, but in Florida they're swimming. South Texas, they're swimming. South California, they're swimming. So I could filter by that, right? So then I could say where their audience is based, how many followers they have, 10 to 100,000, 100 to 1 million, 1 million to 10, or I can customize the average views that their videos get. The price preference, if it's negotiable, or I can only say free products accepted as payments. So that's one tick box. If I only want to work with people that are going to accept free products, there you go. You can do that. And then you can select the topics that they talk about, right? So for us, it would be family and emotion. So family, which would be family relationships, kids, toddlers. And then maybe if I wanted to do like sports and outdoors, but there's a whole bunch of different options, right? That's my point, is that you can get really, really granular. So instead of having to do the manual approach, like with Instagram, where you're having to search by hashtag, again, we've done this and we've gotten really good results doing the manual thing for our clients. It's just that the marketplace makes it a lot easier. Then we can select by audience gender, which is key for us because 80%, 85, 90% of our audience is purchasing as female. So I want to say by female, and then I want to do between 25 and 34, and then hit apply, and bada bing, bada boom, there you go. We have a whole list of people that, like, I could contact, like, this person has 44,000 people. They've got twins. They start at $50, but it's negotiable. This one has 70,000 followers. They start at 25, and they feature, and like their family, it's their their avatar image is like a wife and a husband with a baby. Like, these are exactly the people that we would reach out to normally. And so then I can go through, and then I can create a campaign, and I can invite them to that campaign, or I can just start direct messaging them right from in here. So creator marketplace is the way to go within TikTok. Very simple to set up. Like I said, you could do it manually, follow the exact same steps with Instagram. Only what I do is I will then, generally speaking, will direct message them on Instagram instead of TikTok.
Okay. That's actually very cool. It's a great opportunity that I think people should start to look more into this creator marketplace on TikTok. It's a great alternative of all that manual work to do that we usually do on Instagram or other platforms. So definitely that's a great innovation for TikTok, which I think it's one of the causes that why TikTok is growing so much, because maybe they really understand their users, so the advertisers, so which is agencies like you or brands, they want to have something like that, like easy, that you can filter by audiences. So that's something that definitely I'm going to try, and I definitely suggest people also to try as well, in order to find quickly their best influencers. Right. So Paul, before we close, I like to tell people like how they can find you. How can you help them? So what can you help them with?
Yeah, so we do offer influencer management for clients that exist already internally. So this is an invite-only program. So if you're going to contact us and say, "Hey, I want you to do influencers for us," we have a pretty in-depth process, and we don't take everybody. Like 95% of people, we say you're not a good fit. Primarily what we work on is at the chat agency is building out audiences for people, leveraging chat marketing. So that would be Instagram direct, Facebook Messenger, SMS, WhatsApp, that sort of stuff. And what we do is we look at your audience journey, okay, starting with your packaging. And we say, okay, why are people going to sign up to sign up for alerts from you? And so that's what we do is we build that process for people specifically with, we don't have I don't necessarily say that we focus on specific categories, but generally we work with businesses that have their customer avatar is mothers between the ages of 25 and 45 that have, small kids at home, because that's what we're experts in. And so, so they can contact me at thechatagency.com. If you want to download this SOP, you can go to www.tca.life/the seller process. And so we have a whole, again, the SOP is how to contact people on Instagram manually, how to contact people on TikTok manually, how to use Creator Marketplace, that sort of stuff. So I'm always speaking at events. Chances are, if you're going to Prosper, I'll be speaking there on an influencer panel. I'm speaking in Mexico this year, and then in France, I'll be in Fiji. So far, most of the events that I have booked, the majority of them are international this year.
Nice.
And I'm always on podcasts. So thechatagency.com would be the number one place.
Nice. Okay, that's awesome. So thank you, Paul. Thank you very much for all your tips today. So guys, remember that the key to success is to emulate the best. So take action on the tips that Paul just mentioned, and go find the best influencers that the influencer that is a best fit for your brand, and start creating a relationship with them so that they become your ambassadors, and that will really lead to great opportunities for your brand once you will reach you will reach more people through the help of these influencers that you have a partnership with. So definitely go check out the materials that we are sharing with you in this episode. You will find the link in the show notes or in the description in the YouTube video, and grab your copy and start taking action. Thank you again for coming here, Paul, and I hope to see you in one of those many conferences that you're doing around the world.
Looking forward to it.
Hey entrepreneurs, I hope you enjoyed the episode and learned something from the interview. If you're serious about creating systems for your business, automating processes and building up your team so that you can transfer the tedious daily tasks in order to focus on more high-level strategic tasks and work on your business and not in your business, I've created a guide for Amazon sellers named Capturing Systems and Creating SOPs that you can find at thesellerprocess.com/systems ebook, where you will learn how to leverage systems and SOPs in your Amazon business so that you can accomplish more by working less, optimize your time, automate and delegate tasks, and reap the benefits of being a true business owner and not simply an operator in your own business. Go download the ebook at thesellerprocess.com/systems ebook and start implementing all the tips and insights that I share with you. And leave us a review or a comment to let us know how the content we are sharing here is making an impact in your business. And have a productive week.